Hello, I'm Eric Gerlieve, and on behalf of KYMCO USA, would like to welcome you to this DVD series of ATV safety and training courses for the full line of KYMCO ATVs. Before we get to the specifics of the different models offered by KYMCO, let's review general ATV safety. Always wear a helmet approved by the Department of Transportation and other protective gear, including but not limited to gloves, sturdy over-the-ankle boots, long pants, and a long sleeve shirt or jacket. Never ever ride on public roads. ATVs are not designed for pavement and another vehicle can kill you. Never ride under the influence of alcohol or other drugs. Never carry a passenger on a single rider vehicle. Purchase an ATV that is right for your child's age. Category Y6+ is for children ages 6 and up. Category Y10+ is for children ages 10 and up. Category Y12+ is for children ages 12 and up. Category T is for teens, age 14 and up. Category G and S are for adults, ages 16 and up. Any riders under the age of 16 must be supervised by an adult. ATVs are not toys. Ride only on designated trails at safe speeds. Take an ATV rider safety course before your purchase and learn how to safely operate and ride the ATV you purchased from the maker or their dealership. These are the very basic safety rules, regardless of which brand or model you choose to ride on. Please follow them strictly to ensure a safe and enjoyable riding experience on your ATV. Today, we will be covering the KYMCO MAXXER 450i all-terrain vehicle, one of KYMCO's adult ATVs. This ATV is Category S compliant. It was designed for experienced adult riders 16 years old and older. No one under the age of 16 should ever ride this vehicle. While this ATV is designed for adult riders, KYMCO strongly urges all intended new riders of the ATV to attend a hands-on training course before the purchase. The purpose is to have experienced, certified instructors train the riders in the proper way to operate an ATV. The trainers will establish a solid and safe set of riding habits for all intended riders from the very beginning. A rider cannot effectively operate his vehicle without knowing its controls, so let us review them now. The MAXXER 450i's controls are located at different areas of the machine: the left and right handlebar grip areas, and the central section of the machine above and around the gas tank. The left handlebar contains the rear brake lever, headlight low-high beam selector, reverse override button, engine start button, and engine kill switch. The right handlebar contains the front brake lever, parking brake lock lever, two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive selector switch, thumb throttle lever, and throttle adjustment screw. The middle area has the ignition switch, multifunction display with speedometer, tachometer, fuel gauge, trip/odometer, and clock/hour meter, as well as the two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, gear selection, check engine, high beam, and engine temperature indicators. The gear selector is to the left and below this area. There is also a rear brake pedal at the right side footrest. Knowing how to stop is the most important thing to know when riding an ATV, so we'll start off with the brakes. The MAXXER 450i is equipped with hydraulic disc brakes on each front wheel and a single hydraulic disc brake acting on the rear left axle, supplying the stopping power to both rear tires through the rear differential. The front brakes are controlled by squeezing the right side brake lever, while the rear brake is applied using the left side brake lever or right side brake pedal. The MAXXER 450i's parking brake is set by squeezing the right side brake lever, then pressing the parking brake lever lock in towards the lever perch. To release the parking brake, squeeze the brake lever to reset the lever lock. As the MAXXER has selectable 2- or 4-wheel drive, let us discover how to switch between the two. The 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive selector switches between the two drive modes. With the ATV stopped, simply press the button. When the button is out, you are in 2-wheel drive. When the button is in, you are in 4-wheel drive. The 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive selector switch should never be used while the ATV is in motion or damage to the front differential may occur. We will now move on to the throttle. The MAXXER 450i has a standard thumb lever type throttle mounted on the right side handlebar. It is controlled by the rider pressing it with the right thumb. No pressure on the lever allows the engine to idle, while increasing pressure on the lever will increase engine speed to its maximum RPM, which is controlled by the throttle stop screw. The throttle stop screw is adjustable and can be used to restrict the top speed of the MAXXER 450i. Adjust the throttle stop screw inward to decrease top speed for less experienced riders. It can then be adjusted back out as the rider gains experience and confidence. While the throttle stop screw can't be adjusted outward too far, extreme adjustment will not increase speed beyond the factory setting and will allow the engine RPM to engage the speed limiter. This engagement can be misinterpreted as a high-speed ignition misfire. While the MAXXER 450i is essentially an automatic due to its continuously variable transmission, or CVT, it is also equipped with a 4-position gear selector that allows for low and high forward, neutral, or reverse gear selection. The gear selector is not an active gear shift, so the following instruction must always be followed. With the ATV stopped, move the gear selector lever to the gear you want, one position at a time. The appropriate indicator light will illuminate depending on the gear selected. The gear selector should never be used while the ATV is in motion or with the engine at speeds above idle, or severe damage to the transmission may occur. Let's continue with the MAXXER 450i ignition switch. It is 3-position, requires a key to operate, and energizes all the electrical circuits of the ATV except lights when switched to the on position. To ride with lights, use the lights position. The key cannot be removed in the on or lights position, so it won't come loose or fall out while riding. Likewise, it will also shut down all the circuits when switched off. Always turn off the ignition when the ATV is not running. Failure to do so can drain the battery to a level the ATV may not be able to start. Let us continue with starting. With the ignition switch in the on position, the engine can be started. This is done by pressing the engine start button, which will energize the engine starter motor, turning over the engine. You never want to press this button when the engine is already running, as it can damage the starter motor gears, which could lead to more serious problems. The MAXXER 450i is equipped with an engine kill switch that will shut off the motor when set to the off position. It is intended as a safety or emergency shutoff and should normally be left in the run position. The engine kill switch does not de-energize all of the ATV electrical systems. If it is used to shut down the engine, the ignition switch should be turned off to avoid draining the battery. The MAXXER 450i has a feature that reduces engine speed in reverse, making backing up on the machine safer. In some cases, this feature may work against the ATV, such as reversing over an obstacle. The reverse override switch allows this feature to be bypassed in these situations. Pressing the reverse override switch will bypass reduced engine speed in reverse. Releasing the switch will restore it. Please use caution when reversing in override mode, as your speed in reverse will be increased. Be sure there are no obstacles in your path. The MAXXER 450i has headlights that turn on when the ignition switch is set to lights. The headlight selector switch is used to change the headlight between low and high beam. When in high beam, the high beam indicator light will illuminate. A mechanical failure on the trail can ruin your day at best, cause damage to the ATV, or create a safety hazard at worst. Your user manual provides detailed information on how to check the various components of the MAXXER 450i, but we will now summarize what to check before every ride. We will again start with the brakes. Check the operation and condition of the brake levers. They should not feel spongy. Check the brake fluid level for the front and rear brakes. Check the brake lines for any signs of damage and fluid leaks. You will need fuel to go anywhere, so always check the fuel level before heading out on your ATV. Forgetting to check can leave you and the ATV stranded in a remote area. Engine and transmission oil is the lifeblood of your engine. Check both engine and transmission oil levels and look for signs of leaking. Aside from stranding you, low oil levels can cause engine and transmission damage. The front and rear differentials transfer the engine's power to the wheels. Like the engine and transmission, check the differential fluid for the proper level and look for signs of leaking. Low levels here will cause differential damage. The MAXXER 450i is water-cooled. Be sure to check the coolant level is at the proper level to avoid overheating and engine damage. Your throttle is always an important assembly to check, as a frayed cable can break unexpectedly. A broken throttle cable will strand you, and a sticking throttle can cause the rider to lose control and crash. Check for smooth throttle operation and return, proper cable-free play, and overall condition. Your wheels and tires connect the ATV and you to the terrain. Check both for wear and damage, and check your tire pressure for proper inflation. A flat tire on the trail is never fun, and overinflated tires adversely affect handling. We'll move on to the little things. Check all fittings and fasteners for tightness. Depending on the fastener, losing one on the trail can result in a minor inconvenience, a breakdown, or safety issue. Also, check your switches for proper function. Operate them all before you ride and make sure they do what they are supposed to do. Finally, check your lights for proper function. While this isn't as critical in an off-road setting as if you were riding an on-road vehicle, you will be glad they work if you are caught out on the trail at dusk or after dark. Your MAXXER 450i is now ready to ride. We will now cover how to properly mount your ATV. From the left side of the ATV, grab the handlebar's left grip with your left hand. Apply the brake. Put your left foot on the left footrest. Lean over the ATV to grab the right handlebar grip with your right hand, then swing your right leg over the seat. Place your right foot on the right side footrest. Find a comfortable seating position. Always keep your feet planted on the footrests. We are now ready to start up the MAXXER 450i and get riding, so here is how to do it. Select a level surface and lock the parking brake before starting the engine. Shift the gear selector to neutral. With the throttle closed, press the starter button. Release the button as soon as the engine starts. If the engine doesn't start within 10 seconds, release the starter button and wait at least 10 seconds before pressing it again. Do not press the starter button for longer than 10 seconds. Once started, let the engine warm up until it idles smoothly and takes small amounts of throttle without hesitation. Dismounting the ATV is basically the reverse of mounting it, with a couple of key differences. Once the ATV comes to a stop, turn the ignition switch to off and engage the parking brake. Stand and swing your right leg over the seat to the left side of the vehicle, stepping on the ground. Release the bars and remove the left foot from the footrest. Along with always wearing proper protective gear when you ride and doing your pre-ride checklist, scheduled maintenance should be part of your ATV riding routine. A properly maintained ATV is more reliable and safer to operate. Your user manual is an important resource detailing all of the topics we just covered and more. Always keep it in a safe place on the vehicle at all times. That being said, please review and follow the MAXXER 450i maintenance schedule in your user manual by taking it to an authorized KYMCO dealer to ensure years of safe, trouble-free riding from your ATV. This is Eric Gerlieve on behalf of KYMCO USA, wishing you all a fun, memorable, and safe ride.